Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, Real Talk Recovery, where we talk about recovery from addiction and I share my life with you. My name's Nicole and I'm an addict. My sobriety date is July 13th of 2015 and I do utilize medically assisted treatment. I'm currently down from 12 milligrams to 4 milligrams and I do document my taper here on my YouTube channel. So if that's something that you're interested in, just check out my playlist labeled Suboxone Taper Updates. Now, before I get started on this video, you guys, give me a second, give this video a thumbs up, comment down below, and share with me the progression of your addiction. How did your addiction, how quickly did it get bad? Did it go from 0 to 100 real quick, or did it take a couple of years for you to get out of control? Because that's what we're going to be talking about today. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel because if you're not, you're literally missing out on the best YouTube channel ever. Not really, but I mean, kind of. I'm biased. And also, don't forget to click the notification bell. That way you will be notified every time that I go live. I do go live on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I hope you guys will join us every Friday at 7. We do medication-assisted recovery anonymous meetings. They're really interactive. We have an amazing, amazing chat. And yeah, it's just really supportive. I think you guys will really, really enjoy it. So I hope you'll come hang out with us and join us on Fridays at least at 7. So tonight what we're talking about is the progression of my addiction. How bad was it really? So I read you guys' comments every night when I go to bed. I lay in my bed and I go through and I just read questions and I try to heart everybody's comment or comment back. And the other night, one of my girls had commented, I think it was Erin, and she asked me like, how many Roxys did it take me to get high whenever I was at my worst? And to answer that question, it was about 5 to 6 30 milligram Roxys at a time. I would bust them down one at a time and shoot them up back to back to back. And so, yeah, it was really just a terrible existence if you want to know the truth. I was constantly trying to reach that nodding out point, and because my tolerance to opiates had become so big, it was like I constantly needed more and I constantly needed more. But I didn't get to that point overnight, and that's what I'm going to share with you guys. So I started using drugs when I was 17, and I really got into heavily abusing them by 18, 19 years old. By the time I was 18, I was using methamphetamine on a daily basis. I was taking methamphetamine to work with me. I was smoking it in the bathroom at work. I was buying drugs from drug dealers. It was not just like me hanging out with people who were using. I was getting drugs on my own. And so pretty quickly, I went from just hanging out, weekend warrior, kicking it with my friends, getting high at parties, to getting high by myself. For me, that was one of the first signs that I had a problem, is that I was using by myself. Do you know what I mean? A lot of the times when we first start out, we will use with friends, we will use with boyfriends or significant others, or we just won't use alone. Well, I had gotten to that point where I was getting high by myself. And in fact, I kind of preferred getting high by myself because I didn't have to share with anybody. Can I get an amen? So I can really remember my 19, 20, 21 because I was working for a department store, JCPenney. I was actually working as a freelance makeup artist. I wasn't like a certified makeup artist, but I was self-taught. And so I did makeovers there. I did prom makeup. I did girls makeup for like competitions. I even had women that came to me after my job, and I would go to their houses and do their makeup there. Like I've always really loved doing people's makeup, and I'm really good at it. So I was making pretty good money doing that because I would get tips too. And I was high at my job all the time. My friend Nikki at the time, she was on meth too, and we were both using methamphetamine. And I can remember that I was using meth and she was injecting it. And I remember thinking, oh my God, like, I will never shoot up. That's like for junkies. And she was like, and I didn't shoot up, but I thought I was so much better than her because she was shooting up. And I remember thinking I would never do that. Well, it didn't take but a couple of years after that, she passed away, and then I was shooting up by myself in a bathroom, and I got to a point where I was just really desperate. I sat in the bathroom all night long and taught myself how to hit a vein, and I was so desperate that I used water to practice shooting up. And I just sat there and shot up water until I could get a vein. And that's crazy. Who does that? So I was about 22, 23 when that happened. Okay, so we're still at the beginning, right? We're still not even to the end because I didn't get sober until I was 32. So 6 months after I started injecting methamphetamine, I was in a car, my own car, little 2001 navy blue Ford Focus. And this guy that I was with, he was a dope cook. His name was Pacemaker Quincy. The reason they called him that is because he had a pacemaker. And he was a black guy, and he shot meth. And so we were just left this house. We were dropping off some dope there to these girls, and they were confidential informants, and they snitched on us, and we got pulled over. We didn't get pulled over. We got surrounded by 3 D-Tech cars and 2 cop cars. It was so scary, you guys. I could not even believe it. And I caught my first felony conviction, which I got charged with possession of a controlled substance, Class C felony. And I remember going home and telling my parents because I made the front page of the newspaper, and my dad was so disappointed, you guys. He was so upset, and I was so ashamed, and he was like, how could you do this, And I was just like, I don't know why. I wanted to quit. I wanted to get sober, you guys, and I went to treatment. I went to treatment 5 times during my addiction, and it wasn't until the 5th time that I finally really got serious and got the help that I needed and was able to get on maintenance medication, and that's what saved my life. So after I caught that charge, I wilded out still. I didn't get sober, and I ended up getting sent to prison. So here's another moment where it's like, hello, Nicole, it's time to wake up. So not only let's kind of outline the progression. So it starts out partying, young girl, weekend warrior. Okay, then I advance to buying my own drugs and using drugs alone. Okay, then I advance to using drugs at work, taking drugs with me, driving with drugs in my car. All right. Then I advanced to injecting, all right? So now I'm injecting drugs. Then I advanced to being pulled over and charged with a felony due to my drug addiction. So this is the progression. Then, not only do I have a felony, but I'm on probation and I fail these drug screens. I'm sent to treatment twice and I'm still getting high. Then I was sent to prison. So here we are. This could have been a turning point for me. I could have gotten out of prison and, gotten sober and never turned back. I really tried to set myself up for success. When I got out of prison, I paroled out to a halfway house. I got a sponsor. I started going to meetings. I started working the 12 steps. I got a job and I stayed sober for 9 months. I was doing so good, you guys. I was doing so good. And then I relapsed. After 9 months. I was devastated. I could not believe it. So I relapsed on Oxy. And this was a new addiction for me. Now I had gotten high on Oxys and hydrocodones and Percocets and methadone. I had been doing those for years, but this was a different addiction because now I was injecting Oxy. Okay, oxys and Dilaudids and morphine and heroin, all of it. And I loved it. I loved the way opiates made me feel. Especially after I've been up front on methamphetamine for a while, I would really enjoy the way it felt to shoot meth and then shoot oxy behind it. And so this was a whole nother progression. So I went through the whole process again with opiates. You know, I started out just getting them when I was around people that I knew that had them. Then I started out, buying them from a dealer. Then I started out using them by myself. Then I started out being high when I would go into work. It was like a whole nother progression. And I've always abused multiple substances, you guys. And with meth was so psychologically fucking me, and I would hallucinate. I would think things were happening that weren't really happening. I was so out of touch with reality. The way opiates fucked me over was the pain, the withdrawal, the sickness, the not being able to function without them. And so this was a whole new beast for me. It was very, very, very complicated. And I would try to balance out the oxy and the withdrawal with shooting methamphetamine and taking Xanax bars, copious amounts of Xanax bars. So that was a point where I thought my life couldn't get any worse. I didn't think it could get any worse. And then I lost my job and my car. Then when I thought life couldn't get any worse, I met my husband. And that was like a ray of sunshine. I was like, maybe there's hope. Maybe I'm going to be okay. Maybe I'm going to make it out of this, right? I fell in love. And then I realized we're both addicts. We're both addicts. And then I was afraid again. Then I was like, never mind. This is like toxic. I remember my mom sitting me and Neil down and talking to us and telling us, like, if you guys want to make it, this is going to be the hardest thing you've ever done. But if you love each other, I know you can do it. And I remember thinking in my mind, like, he'll never love me enough to keep going with me. He'll leave me. They always do, right? And I believed that. I thought, he would stay with me long enough and we would get high together and stuff like that. And then, he would get tired of it and he would leave me because he had a family that would take him back in. And my family was absolutely done with me. But he didn't. He stuck it out with me. And then we found out we were pregnant. We found out we were pregnant in 2013 and we had my son in 2014 in July 4th. He was a firecracker baby. July 4th. And that was another progression. I said I will, I thought I would get sober when I was pregnant, you guys, and I wish I could come on here and tell you what an amazing pregnancy I had and how I was such a great mom. But I was not. I was a terrible mom. I used the whole time I was pregnant, and I'm lucky that my son is okay. And I realize that, and I take full responsibility for that. Like, I'm still really trying to forgive myself for that. And honestly, I don't know if I ever will be able to. But my son was born on July 4th of 2014, and he was perfect. Right then, I was like, I'm never getting high again. And I white-knuckled it for 3 months. I had postpartum depression. I was losing my mind. I white-knuckled it, and then I relapsed after 3 months. So now the progression has even been worse. Now I am a junkie and I have a baby. I'm a mother and I'm shooting up. About a year after Nate was born, my friend called CPS on me, and CPS came and took my son. And then my addiction progressed even farther to me sneaking drugs into the treatment center. This is something I said I would never do because I've seen so many people that need to get sober that were going to treatment for that chance. And here I am, my selfish ass in treatment, literally making everybody else susceptible to relapse because I'm having my husband sneak Xanaxes into me because it's all about me because I'm selfish, right? Well, I got caught. And so here's another step to the progression. I got caught, and that's when the tables turned. And that's when they laid down the law. And I finally reached out and said, I can't do this alone. I need help. And that's when I got on maintenance medication. And since I was able to get on maintenance medication, you guys, I have not relapsed. I have not gotten nothing since July 13th of 2015. And that is a miracle. But my addiction progressed over those years, and it got worse and worse. And each time I thought I had hit my bottom would open up and I would fall through a trap door. It just got worse and worse and worse. And each time I said, I won't do that, I'm too good for that, I would do it. Every yet, not yet, I did it. Everything I thought that, I can't believe her, she's sleeping with him for free drugs. Did it. Oh my God, I can't believe them. They have a son, and they're taking their son to the drug dealer's house. Did it. You're never too good. You're never say never. That's what I have to say. Never say never. Because I did the same thing. And each time I said never, it became something that I did. My bottom would always get worse. And that's what happens. It can always get worse, you guys. So please, if you're struggling with addiction, reach out to me. You can call me on the Real Talk Recovery phone line at 501-991-5149. I wanted to share this with you guys because that was the progression of my addiction. Yeah, I was using 5 or 6 Roxys at a time. I could shoot a gram of methamphetamine in one shot. I could shoot a gram of cocaine in one shot. I could eat 7 to 10 bars of Xanax at a time. I was absolutely strung out. I was absolutely a hot mess. And I didn't care whether I lived or died. But today I do. And today I want to help you guys to care about whether you live or die. So like I said, if you need anything or you ever need help or you just want to talk, just text me, okay? All right. Love you guys, and I'll see you later. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm really working hard on putting out videos that will help you guys understand the disease of addiction. And I hope that seeing how my addiction progressed through these years, I hope that can help those of you that maybe don't understand or are trying to learn. All right? All right, you guys. Love you, and I'll see you guys Friday night, 7 p.m. for our Medication Assisted Recovery Anonymous meeting. Saturday night with Big JD from Prison Break Raw.